Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show. The show is designed to give you solutions to your day-to-day management and leadership problems. It's hosted by Matthew Haddock, a frontline manager and leader with over 25 years of experience. If you're ready, then let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Manager Matt podcast show and a Merry Christmas to everyone who has been listening over 2025. It's been an interesting year for myself and I'm sure it's been for you. I'm hoping you're going to get a bit of a rest over the festive period, although if you are in food manufacturing, I'm sure you'll be back in on Boxing Day because we never stop making and we never stop eating. This past year of Manager Matt podcast has been focused on one clear mission: making leadership practical, human and usable in the real world. Across this year, the show has tackled everyday challenges you as managers actually face. Broken communication, siloed departments, disagreement in teams, leadership pressure and the gap between theory and reality when it comes to the shop floor and the offices. Rather than just going through a book, I've tried to make sure that everything I've done for you guys is around real life experiences. Rather than just chasing the trends or the buzzwords, Manager Matt has tried to have a simple tool with clear thinking and some sort of honest communication designed to help you, managers and leaders, manage with confidence, some empathy and obviously credibility. Because this year has been such a different year, I've tried my best, and sometimes I've been away, as you know. Earlier in the year I was out and about travelling with my job, but I've tried to do one every week to make sure you've got something to listen to, and I am consistent, because when we're in leadership and management positions we have to be consistent with what we do, and I'm the same with this show. The key themes this year, have been around building trust and influencing without relying on authority. So a few of the casts have been around how you can use your power that's not positional, the way that you can understand how people tick, because that's a major thing in leadership. Because we're not robots, because it's not all AI, you need to have a way of dealing with people and influencing people to get them to build trust with you and to make sure they can deliver results, not just with the people around you, but your peer group and your boss. Other themes about breaking down silos and improving that cross-department collaboration. It's a massive, the jobs I've done this year when I've gone into businesses, there's so many silos. Everyone else thinks somebody else is not doing the job. Everyone else thinks that the other lot are rubbish and they're the best. And that's because the leadership in that place has allowed silos to grow, have allowed silos to fester. And I've been looking at how you can go across departments using collaborative language to get trust and make sure that you are getting the results that you need across the spectrum of the business. I've also looked at how you can emotionally control and making decisions under pressure, because emotions are there. You are human, and controlling your emotion doesn't mean you're a Vulcan. It just means that you can make decisions under pressure using data and making sure you have a plan, because you cannot be too emotional. Yes, you've got to have empathy. Yes, you've got to understand, and there's nothing wrong with having a tear in your eye and being emotional. But when you let it rule your decisions, then mistakes happen and you don't get the best out of your teams. Other themes this year have been around practical leadership and conversations that improve relationships, not damage them. So how do you make sure you're using the right language when you're talking to people? And I've looked at applying mindset, structure and consistency to real operational challenges. Episodes like 5 questions to get your peers on your side. That reflects that core style of the podcast. Straight talking, experience-led and immediately actionable. Each episode is aimed to give you listeners something you can try that very same day. It's not just about idea thinking, it's about going out there and trying it. I've said that since the start. I'm hoping that the advice and real life experiences really do practically help you get better. And of course, there's a few standouts that I can sort of look at, and there's plenty to look at if you go over the back catalogue this year. But, balancing leadership thinking has been a big one. So looking at that, how you have empathy, I can't even say, but how do you have empathy without weakness? How can you have a standards without ego? I've focused on strong behaviours, not just process or behaviours, making sure things are consistent. I've been honest. I've acknowledged that sometimes pressure gets to leaders, and how do you make sure you can deal with that? The podcasts has resonated with a lot of managers I've talked to. They want to get results without burning out their teams or themselves. They understand that today has pressures that are different to it was 5-10 years ago. And, understands that strong leadership starts with good, better conversations. That's why I always talk around how you do good one-to-ones, how you get to understand your team, how you coach and give feedback, and make sure that you are getting results with your team. Not just using your team and burning them out, but with your team. And leading from the front, understanding that you are accountable and you take accountability seriously. And as the podcast moves into next year, I'm going to remain focused on things like deeper leadership conversations, more practical frameworks for you to use, sharper tools for influencing accountability and team performance, and continuing to support managers as they navigate change in our world and understand pressure and growth. Remember, Manager Matt Podcast isn't about being a perfect leader. It's about becoming a better one, with better conversations and better time with your team. So, I'd like to thank you all for the time you've spent with me over this year. And I'd love you to rate it, share it, and let others listen to it. But most of all, I want to thank you and hope you have a great Christmas. And come back and listen in the new year. Well, that's it for Manager Matt this week and this year. So have a great one, and I'll see you in 2026. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for listening to this Manager Matt podcast. We hope you found it interesting, helpful and actionable. One last thing, please leave a quick review on iTunes or with your podcast provider, as it helps to spread the word of Manager Matt. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the podcast, and if you did like anything in particular, send an email to managermattpodcast@gmail.com or visit managermatt.co.uk for more content. Feedback is a gift, so let's keep giving. See you next week.